Hello everybody, today is June 11, 2024. Today I'm just gonna go over some stocks that I'm keeping an eye on. I'm also keeping in mind that tomorrow we have some pretty strong catalysts that are going to have some probably dramatic effect on how the market is gonna behave, especially for tomorrow and maybe the rest of the week. So please keep that in mind. I am day trader and I'm swing trader. I've been swinging more than day trading lately. I base my trades on the 1 day chart and how I see things here, and then I make my decisions on buying or selling when I take a look. Well, my decisions on buying and selling are based on what I see on lower time frames. This is not financial advice. I strongly suggest you do your own research, and you are very careful when you invest your money on any, whether if it's in equities, real estate, or whatever kind of investment. Just be very careful. Take care of your money. That should be your number one priority. So this is for educational purposes, and if you see any utility on this, or you see that or you appreciate what I do, just you can drop a like or subscribe to this channel. Anyways, let's start with this. Bitcoin. A very interesting thing going on here. I think I was talking about Bitcoin somewhere around this, probably on Monday the 3rd or so of last week, and what I was seeing was price action going over this trend line right here and moving higher. I left this pattern or this arrow right here because what I was saying is like it would be nice to see a retest and then we can see a move up. Well, tomorrow, and you can think whatever you want, tomorrow we have CPI, and whether it's Bitcoin or not, that is going to have an influence on any kind of names. So whether if it's stocks or cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin or Ethereum, it is going to have some sort of, effect or catalytic effect. So if we have a cool CPI, we might see this moving up. If we have a horrendous report and then the Fed later on on FOMC say something that is also pretty hawkish, we might see a dramatic move in equities on the way down. That being said, I like the fact that we are staying on the SMA 35. There was a perfect bounce right here, and now we are at this level that was playing support. I would consider this now resistance, but it looks like we're starting to move over this, and so we might see this move on the way up. This just turned green just right now, but it's a pretty tiny candle, doji candle. So anyways, CPI aside, I think there is the crucial level right here is, what would this be, 67,400, 67,350. Keep that in mind. I think if CPI is in line or we have a low CPI, this is probably gonna start moving on the way up. This MACD, TSI, they actually look bearish, but we might see a reversal here. So just keep an eye on this resistance level. Is probably going to turn into support, which is probably what is happening right now, but we can see another run on Bitcoin. Fingers crossed for where we get tomorrow. Enphase. I've been talking about Enphase for a while. Where is it? Since we were right here, so it was like Wednesday the 22nd of May, and what I was saying is like, well, we are in this channel right here, and our range is between 122 106. It's been bouncing, so support and resistance have been pretty strong for a while, and then we broke here, and I did draw an arrow here for like a retest. I was expecting a retest on this area right here, so by Wednesday the 5th, but actually happened a few days later, and now we're on the way up. This actually looks pretty good. Now, on the way, I like to read MACD and TSI, I would feel like, okay, this is not a trade for me because we're already on a different move. That trade for me would have been probably around this area right here, but I wasn't looking at Enphase back here. I think I did take, I did buy some calls right on this candle, and I sold either on this candle or this candle. But other than that, I do think there is opportunity on Enphase. I see that we can go a little bit higher still. Let's see where, yeah, we can. There is very low liquidity here, so we might go up to 40, between 45 and 50 easily. So keep an eye on Enphase. This actually looks pretty good. Again, tomorrow we have pretty interesting news and a catalyst that is gonna really dictate the momentum for the next probably a week or so until we get something else. This week is going to be pretty interesting. We have the next 3 days we have a lot of data coming in that are going to influence the direction of these stocks. But again, I think this level right here of support is very strong. So even if we have bad news, keep an eye on 22, and if it breaks, I think it will go to 106 easily, but it would be a very difficult for Enphase to go under 106. No positions on this name yet, but I think I'm gonna buy a bunch of names tomorrow by the end of the day. Affirm is one of them, but I'm not talking about Affirm today. They got great news on Affirm. Well, now I'm talking about it. Great news on Affirm. I think this has room to go up over 40 easy. So anyways, I might actually make a video about Affirm tomorrow. I think I'm gonna buy calls tomorrow on Affirm, September calls on Affirm tomorrow. Anyways, Ethereum. I want to talk about Ethereum. Another one, like you saw what happened with Bitcoin, and now we're here again on the SMA 35. I like to use this indicator because it could be, not always, but it could be a great indicator of support and resistance. You see it right here, and you see it here as resistance. Now it broke. Now you see it as support. What I see here also, I would have more of a bearish inclination for Ethereum. And the reason for this is because there is a pretty big divergence going on here between the MACD and the signal line, and that we're moving pretty strongly towards the zero line. So keep an eye on the SMA 35. If we break that level, we're probably gonna go down. To what level right now? I'm not too sure. I would say probably 3200, where we see this. Let's put this right here. Candles right here bouncing us off the SMA 35. So, and then you have this channel here. So it makes sense to put a level on this area. So 3200, 33 or 3200 is basically an area to keep an eye on Ethereum. Another name that I've been talking about for a while is Meta. I think I mentioned Meta back here when we were breaking this level right here. So that was in the beginning of May. A month ago, I was telling everybody, hey, keep an eye on this. Now, it wasn't on the 3rd, it was on the 6th, on Monday 6th. And the reason why I was keeping an eye on Meta was because of the MACD and the TSI were already moving into, I guess, or they were on their way of going or crossing the signal line. And one thing that I like is when this divergence right here closes really dramatically. Most of the times you're gonna have a pretty good move. So I was on Microsoft, so I didn't buy this, but Microsoft had a very similar setup right here. And I think I'm gonna talk about Microsoft next. So yes. So this move was pretty strong. Then you consolidated here, but another very telling thing is that we weren't breaking the SMA 35, and then we went up again, broke this resistance level. Now we support, but it just keeps going up. So again, if we have good news tomorrow, I think that we have room for 530 within the next day, not day, but in the next few days or maybe a week. Um, so I really like Meta. I'm pretty happy that it was this call right here was very precise, but every time I see this kind of behavior in these indicators, for me is pretty much um, a buy or sell sign. Anyways, and also you were breaking this resistance level. Let's do Microsoft. Microsoft. I mentioned Microsoft on the 6th as well, and we were here. Same behavior as Meta on the MACD and the TSI. To me, sometimes, again, this is super telling. And the other thing that was pretty obvious for me was we went over the SMA 35, and now we had this candle just floating on this. I did buy, I believe, calls on this candle right here, and I did sell on this red candle right after breaking 415. Again, I swing. I don't keep my calls for too long, and I buy them 2 months ahead or so. So these were probably July calls. They would have been great right now. But again, that's the way I trade. Definitely one of those things that when you see the chart, um, I could argue, or anybody could argue, well, I did sell too soon, considering that there was a divergence on this between the signal line on the MACD and the TSI forming. So that's also a very obvious move. So maybe something that I should work on and be more patient. But again, I mentioned this on X probably on the, I think it was on the 6th, so it was on this candle, and you can see the gains right here. Then you had a little pullback, and now you're back up here. I really like Microsoft. I think I like seeing this, even though we're over the zero line. I think we have room for more, for a continuation of this move. Let's fix this. What else? OXY. I was looking at this, and I like OXY. Look at this. So we were going down. Oil is going up a little bit. I think that OXY has a little bit of opportunity to move to at least 61 or break that resistance level. If we go over that, your next resistance level is the SMA 35, whatever price point you get at the moment. But what I really like here is the MACD and the TSI. RSI is low, so that tells me that there could be a move. The only thing that I would like to see at this point is a little bit of momentum and more volume, considering that the MACD and the signal line are a little bit too close to each other right now. But I really like what I see on this chart. I'm not gonna buy anything probably tomorrow or Thursday, but I'll just keep an eye. I just want to see a formation here that is more solid, and I might actually buy some calls if we break 61, and it would probably make sense to me. Shopify. I mentioned Shopify on videos and X quite a few times. I was around here when I mentioned Shopify. The reason why I mentioned this is because, again, the MACD and the TSI, but we had this obvious liquidity gap right in this area, which was telling me that this was going to have a reversal. I like to see a red candle here, that loss of momentum, even though we were up 1.29% today. But I think we definitely have room to fill this gap. The options on this name are not for Shopify are not that expensive, so it would make sense to enter again with some September calls maybe, or late August calls. I might actually do that. I've been thinking about Shopify. It was funny because I was in the gym today and I was thinking, I have to get back on Shopify. Definitely one of those things that when I got my position, I got calls in one of these candles, and I left around here, and I was green. But the thing is, I didn't see momentum here, so I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I really just don't want to. But little that you know, right? It starts moving up, and I knew it. I kind of felt like 61 sounds very reasonable, but I just sold. I'm not very patient, and definitely something I want to work on. But I took my money, I made profit out of it, but I would have been more. But I think this is still a good setup. So I might get in, depending on CPI, how things behave. But even maybe next week, I think I'm going to get back to Shopify. And then I have one last one. I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday, but I think I did. Now that I'm looking at it, this is looking good for a short. You have low liquidity here. You have these indicators are pretty extended right here. The zero line is all the way down here. RSI is also pretty close to 70. So what I like here is keep an eye on 65.70 as my support level. If we break here, I'm definitely gonna get some puts. These would be August puts, and probably I would sell them in a few days, because that trend, unless there are bad news tomorrow, that trend tells me that this is probably just cool down a little bit and then keep going up. Well, that's all I have for today. I'm sorry I didn't have much time today. I was pretty busy, and I just wanted to make a video on things that I'm seeing. Just be careful tomorrow. Tomorrow you have news from, as I mentioned, CPI, and then when you're trading in the middle of the day, just be careful how you put your positions. I'm personally gonna wait until the end of the day to get on anything, so I'm just gonna be chilling in the morning and then see what is good, see what is bad. Anyways, good luck everybody. Bye bye.